In this video, we're going to talk about how to build a custom geofilter in Snapchat, how to buy it, and how to place it so people can use it effectively on whatever you want them to. Okay, so first things first, you're going to want to go to snapchat.com and you'll see this banner. They made it really easy. There's two ways to kind of get to where you want to go. You can either click on this banner right here, or you can scroll down to the bottom where you see under community, it'll say support, community guidelines, safety center, snap codes, and geofilters. So for now, we're just gonna click geofilters right there at the bottom. Once you get here, you'll see that there are two categories of geofilters. There's the community ones that are broken down by historical places or parks, or basically anything that's more just free. Some of the examples they have are cities, universities, landmarks, or public locations. And they make a comment here, no brands or logos are allowed. So that's kind of when you go to a new city and you take a snap and you see all the different filters for that city. Those are designed by people and uploaded and then approved for free by Snapchat. So those designers don't get paid, nor do they get the credit for it. And then also they don't have to pay to put those up there, but they can't do any kind of advertising with them. The other side, which is the ones that we're going to talk about today, are the on-demand, which means people will pay to have their designs uploaded and available as filters. So we're going to click Learn More, and it's going to load. And it'll say here that these are for people and businesses. And then the examples that they talk about is whether it's for a house party or wedding, a coffee shop, or a campus-wide event. Geofilters make it easy for Snapchatters to send out a message and enjoy a message. So they broke it down into 3 steps: design, map, and then buy. All right, let's jump right into create now. So what you're going to want to do is you're first going to want to design your actual geofilter. First, let me sign in. That's the username that you actually have on Snapchat. And you're going to log in with your account, and that's going to go into the back end. Here we go. So what you're going to want to do first is design your filter. And we'll talk about, in either later in this video or in the next video, we're going to talk about some tips and tricks for designing your filter. This video isn't going to deal as much about that as much as it is just actually placing it and actually getting it bought. So let's assume that you've designed your filter for right now. So you have a PNG, a transparent PNG that fits the submission tips, which are make sure it's 1080 by 1920. Make sure it's creative and fun. That's another thing we'll talk about in the next video, is how to make it creative and fun. And then make sure contact information like URLs, hashtags, and social media handles are not included. So that's another big thing you got to remember while you're doing this. So we're going to say, okay, we've got all this taken care of. We're going to upload a file. Keep in mind too, if you don't have something designed, you can download the templates and they'll download it in, I believe, a Photoshop version. Here, we'll click download templates and we'll open this zip right now. I think they'll give you a Photoshop version and an InDesign file. So if you have either of those tools, most likely Photoshop will be the most common one you'll use. That's how you can design the filter. I would also suggest checking out the submission guidelines too on this page. Click there and you'll go to the submission guidelines. Just read over them because it'll make the process a lot faster. I've had a few of my filters declined, and it was all because I didn't operate according to the submission guidelines. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit choose file. You're going to type in whatever you named it, and I have mine as Snapchat Geofilter. All right, sweet. So after you select your file, I have mine as Snapchat Geofilters, then you're going to have a sizing window where you can decide to shrink it or increase the size depending on how you've designed it. We typically design all of ours to fit the exact dimensions that we want, so typically we won't shrink ours. And then you're going to want to give your geofilter a name. So for this one, I was giving a talk at a university about how to get a job after college, blah, blah, blah. And I was also plugging our agency and telling people that they could apply and reach out to us if they wanted to work for us. So we built this geofilter to look like someone was typing in a Google search, I want a job at Huify, and then there's a nice little avatar of myself. Because that's a quick submission tip, you're not allowed to use photos, so that's a great way to kind of put yourself out there, is make a cartoon avatar of yourself, and then you can use it in filters. So this one was job promo. We'll just put job promo. Okay, so then we're gonna go next, and you're gonna wanna decide on your dates. Word of the wise, the best way to do this would be to just select 2 days, and it'll take 1 whole business day to process. So I wouldn't be able to start this on Wednesday, I would have to start it on Thursday or Friday. So I'm just gonna choose next week, and I'm gonna choose Monday and Tuesday of next week. The way they do pricing, by the way, is a factor of 2 things. How long the geofilter will be live, how much time it'll be up, and then the size of the area that you're working in. And I don't think you can do anything under 30,000 square feet. By the way, if you do it within the time frame and within the dimensions, it can be as cheap as like $5, which is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and choose, let's choose Huify as the area. Okay, so here's our office. So we're gonna draw a fence around this. So we're gonna zoom in a little bit, and we're gonna draw our fence. So you'll click draw fence, and then you're just gonna do a fence. And that means anyone who takes a snap in that area will then see your geofilter during that time frame. Now, if I wanted to do 2.1 million square feet, as this just shows, then it would cost me $1,100 to do it for a whole 24-hour period. So we're gonna decrease this a little bit. And I'm actually gonna even zoom in a little bit more to center in, and I'm gonna reset the fence. I'm actually gonna zoom in, and we're gonna center in on just our building, because we're gonna assume that we wanted to do it inside of our building. So you can draw that fence, boom. Now it needs to be at least 20,000 square feet. So that's actually the correct number, not 30,000. So I'm gonna make this a little bit larger. Boom, there we go. I'm gonna make this even a teeny bit smaller, and we're gonna get it as close as we can. So if I wanted to keep this, which covers the whole area of our building, we're good to go there, and it covers everything that we would need to as far as inside our office, if we're taking snaps and all that, has the time frame I want, has everything else, then I would hit next, and you'd see all the details here, how long it's gonna be covered, all that kind of stuff. You would add your credit card information. I'm gonna hold off selecting that. You would put your email confirmation in here, and then you'd have to agree to the terms and then hit submit. And then after that, you're done, and you have just bought your geofilter. You'll receive 1 email that says it's pending, and it'll say your order has been placed. Another one that will say your geofilter has been approved, and then you'll have an email of when it goes live, and then an email of when it ends. And I believe you get charged as soon as it goes live. So as soon as it goes live, you'll get charged however much the amount was, and then at the very end, it'll send you a recap with a receipt. As marketers, or as anyone who's probably thinking about doing this, you're probably wondering, what's the analytics we can get on this? Sad news is 0. You won't know how many people use your geofilter, you won't know how many people saw your geofilter, you won't know any of those details. That's why it's good to have some kind of an offline measurement, meaning you tell people to go to your booth and show you the geofilter, and you can literally count how many people showed you the geofilter. Those kind of metrics will help you determine how effective it was. Or you can tell people to send you the snap of with the geofilter on it, and you can see how many people did that. However you decide to measure it, you have to be a little bit creative right now. Down the road, I'm sure Snapchat will include how many people saw it, what were the impressions like. But right now, I think they're trying to keep all that data very close to themselves, because people could do some pretty crafty things to figure out really how big is Snapchat and how many people are viewing everything if they were really clever about it. So that's how you create a geofilter. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. Also, feel free to add me on Snapchat. You're more than welcome to shoot me a DM, and I'll definitely be sure to show you any of the cool geofilters we've done. We've even pranked people with geofilters before, so we'll talk a little about that in our next video on creative ways to use Snapchat geofilters.